Okay, this is page 6, line 1, away we go. You notice the first note is a D. It's a ledger line and a space below the staff, and it's fingered first and second valve, just like Nick's showing you here. And it sounds like this. Okay, try playing that with him. Now, let's look at line line 1. We have a whole note D, followed by a whole rest, then another whole note D, followed by a whole rest, a third whole note D, followed by a whole rest, and a fourth whole note D, followed by a whole rest. I'm going to set the metronome, and then we're going to play along together. Here we go. 1, 2, play now. D, 2, rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Now you can back that video up and do that as many times as necessary to get that D to come out nice and clean. This is line 2 going up. You notice the note we have here is E flat. It's one ledger line below the staff, and it's fingered first valve, just like Nick's showing you. It sounds like this. Now play it again and match along with Nick. Ready? Now. Okay, now let's look at line 2. We have a whole note E flat, followed by a whole rest, then another whole note E flat, followed by a whole rest, then a third whole note E flat, followed by a whole rest, then a fourth whole note E flat, followed by a whole rest. So we're going to play that together using the metronome. Here we go. 1, 2, begin, now. Rest, 4, 4 counts. Play, 2. Rest, 4, 4 counts. Play. Rest, 4, 4 counts. Play. Rest, 4, 4 counts. Again, you can back the video up and play this as many times as you need until you're comfortable playing that E flat. Now we're looking at number 3, Count Me In. And we have, the notes are changing now. So let's look at the first measure. You have your D. Play the D. Listen to the D. Then we have a whole rest. Then we have an E flat in the third measure. Then a whole rest. Then a D in the fifth measure. Then a whole rest. Then an E flat in the seventh measure. So you can hear how the notes, as they go up on the staff, get a little bit higher. As they go down on the staff, get a little bit lower. So I'm going to have Nick play that again. I want you to say and finger this time. Here we go. 1, 2, playing now. D, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 4, 4 counts, change fingers. E flat. Rest, 2, change fingers. Rest, 2, change fingerings now. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can back that video up and then play along with that as well. Now we're looking at number 4, higher ground. We have a new note here. This is our third note. It's an F. It's just below the staff, and it's fingered with no buttons pushed down. And that F sounds like this. Okay, now play that along with Nick. Ready? Now. Okay, now let's go ahead and play through line 4. We have 4 whole notes. They're all Fs. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, begin. Rest, 4, 4 counts. Rest, 4, 4 counts. Rest for 4 counts. Rest for 4 counts. Now we can back that up and go through that as many times as you need to be comfortable getting that F to speak every time. We're looking at the top of your page in the little green box at the 3 notes that we've learned so far. The first note that we have here is a ledger line and a space below the staff, and it's called D. It's fingered first and second valve like Nick is showing you, and it sounds like this. Now play that note along with Nick. This is the D. The next note is E flat. It's 1 ledger line below the staff, and it's fingered first valve. So listen to it. Now play that E flat with Nick. Ready? Now. Now the third note there is F. It's in the space just below the staff, has no valves, and it sounds like this. Play that along with Nick. Ready? Now. Now keep going back over those 3 notes until you can go from one note to the other and get each one of them to come out. This is line 5, moving around. Each measure has a different note. We just went over the 3 notes in the previous video, so we're going to go through these one note at a time. Let's look at the first measure. Your first note is E flat, first valve. It's 1 ledger line below the staff. Your second note is D, a ledger line and a space below the staff. Your third note is F, just below the staff. And your fourth note is E flat on the ledger line below the staff. Now we're going to go through this with the metronome. I would advise that you say and finger the notes a couple of times while Nick plays, and then back up the video and play with it a few times. Here goes the metronome. 1, 2, ready, begin. Rest for 4 counts, change notes. Rest for 4 counts, change notes. Rest for 4 counts, change notes. Rest for 4 counts. Now just keep backing that video up and go over that till you can change those notes easily without having to look at your fingers or without having to try to figure out the fingerings for the notes.